So today I decided to try out the red threaded Regency short stay pattern. I have the pieces cut out, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on it. I think I'm going to use my green linen, because it's what I have. I have all of the pieces cut out now, except for the gussets. I didn't cut the gussets yet, but I do need to do that. But the main body of the Regency short stays are made of 4 layers. This isn't the most sturdy linen from the green that I'm using, so I also did 2 layers of cotton muslin that'll be on the inside. So they should be sturdy enough. I didn't want to make them too thin because I have a large bust and I just wanted it to be sturdy enough to handle that. So I am making these with 4 layers of fabric. I just cut the gussets out, and for the gussets I did 2 layers of the green linen and 1 layer of the cotton muslin. Hopefully that's sturdy enough for the gussets. And now it's going to be time to do a lot of basting so that these layers won't wiggle around as I'm trying to sew them together. Alright, so I have the center front piece basted, and then I actually sewed the center line by hand. If you can tell, they're not exactly all even, but close enough. I have the gussets basted. I have these 2 pieces basted, but I do not have these 2 pieces basted because my cat is using them as her bed, so those will be done later. So I think what I'm going to do now is get cut where these gussets are gonna go, get the fabric allowance ironed inside, and then insert the gussets because I can move on with that part. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So now I have the edges turned in, and what I'm going to do is in the middle of the 4 layers I will insert the gusset and sandwich it between the 4 layers in the middle so that it will be anchored in there, and then I'll start sewing that. And I've been doing all of the sewing by hand. I don't know if I'll use my sewing machine at all for this, but so far I think it's a pretty easy project to do by hand. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you could still easily do this. It takes a little bit more time, but it's kind of fun to do some hand sewing every now and then and not use a sewing machine. So I'm gonna insert the gussets in their spots and sew those in place. Okay, these are turning out super cute. Now my hand stitching isn't the greatest, but it's not gonna be really be seen except for on the internet, but I think it's really cute so far. I have 2 more gussets to insert, and so far I haven't shown any of the hand sewing that I've been doing on it, but I think it's time to go ahead and do that. I think I'll film me sewing these 2 gussets in. I did baste these other 2 pieces today because Jeddah is not in here to lay on them. So these pieces are kind of basted so that the layers don't wiggle around and I can handle it when actually putting it together. But I think it's really cute. I love this green color, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started on sewing more again. I also got this tripod thing that you attach to a flat surface. This is like a C-clamp that the little metal thing goes in here, and then I film with my cell phone. I don't have an actual camera. Hopefully eventually I will, but I use my cell phone for now. and it's like an adjustable clamped on tripod that I'm gonna try out while I hand sew. So I've done a lot on this. So I've did two boning channels in the center front, and I put in plastic boning. I finished all of the gussets. I attached the side pieces. I took out the basting stitches from the front piece because I didn't really need them in there anymore. And I think I'm going to attempt to do some cording. I'll need to sew these back pieces on. I think I might try to do some of the cording though before I sew the back pieces to the sides. So I'm going to figure that out and we'll see what happens. So as far as cording goes, I think I'm going to do some lines underneath the bust to create some support there. And I think I might make little channels going around each of the gussets and try to do cording around each of those. So we'll see what happens. So I just attached the back pieces on, and I will keep in these basting stitches until I sew the binding around it. That way things don't shift around. I am contemplating doing more cording or decorative stitching, but so far I just did these rows of cording, and then I did some cording around these two, the little gusset pieces. I just cut out strips of the green linen from pieces that were kind of cut up so that I could use that fabric and not waste it, so I cut it into little strips. I did not cut them on the bias, so hopefully that won't make the binding look wonky, but I think it'll be okay. I'm going to sew these strips together, and then I can start working on binding the bottom edge, and then I'll see if I need to make any more to make more binding for around the straps and the top of the bust. I think I'm also going to be adding boning at this seam. I'll make also another channel here, and then also a channel here, and then I need to do 2 channels along the center back. I'll probably just bind the bottom of this for now, and maybe the sides, and then I can still slide in boning from the top here, and try it on. So I will probably bind the top last, but we'll see how this fits, because I have not made a mock-up of this. I just went right in and just started making it. So hopefully this fits me the first time around. So I am pretty close to finishing this now. I cut all of the bones out where the seams go, and I'm going to take them out and melt the ends so that the ends are smooth, but I just put them in for now. And I did the boning at the center back. I actually used the binding that I sewed on as a boning channel, and then I hand stitched another channel, and in this middle area I'm going to start sewing eyelets. So all I have to do now is sew the eyelets, do an eyelet in the strap, and then I need to do the top binding so that this is all clean. Now I think this might this might close fully from when I wrapped it around myself, so I might need to go back later and make it a little bit smaller, but we'll see what happens with that after I finish it and then try it on. It wouldn't be too difficult to unpick the binding afterwards, just to make it a little smaller and then move boning channels over. So I think I'm going to work on sewing some eyelets. Or should I do the binding first? Maybe I'll sew the binding on the top, and then I'll do the eyelets. And I am going to need to find some kind of historical drama to watch or listen to while I do this. So I will come back when I've done that. I'm hoping I can finish this today, because I have drawn this project out way too long. I think it's on week 2 now, which this should have been a lot faster to finish, I think, except I did do this all by hand. If I did this by machine, it would very likely already be done. So it's really pretty. I love the color. I think it's going to be fun to wear. So I'm going to finish this up and come back to show you the final product. Yes, final product. So I've been watching The Handmaid's Tales. I just started it tonight while I finish sewing this up, but it's done. The lighting isn't great right now, but I did all of the eyelets for these Regency short stays, and now I should be able to try them on. So I'm going to check what ribbon I have and then try it on. Alright, so I finally finished my Regency short stays. At least the first draft of it. So this is what it looks like. It's too large for me. I don't remember if I got this in a size large or X large for the red threaded pattern, but I can stick like all 4 fingers from my hand underneath it, so it's super loose and it is closed all the way in the back. Another thing is it's too loose in the bust. I think I could actually get away with only doing one of these gussets because it could come in quite a bit on each side, I think. So I think that would help make more support by reducing the size, and I have a large bust. My underbust measurement is 34 inches, and then my bust is usually measured at about 38 to 40 inches. So I have a large difference in my bust pattern, yet I think I could get away and it would make this more supportive if I just took away one of each of these gussets in the front. But other than that, I think it's super cute. I probably will take a little bit of a break from making the Regency short stays and come back and do that after I work on a couple other projects. And I also think I'll use my sewing machine next time. I sewed this entire thing by hand, even the little gussets, the boning channels, the eyelets, everything was sewn by hand, even the little cording bits. So this was entirely sewn by hand, and I think I would use a sewing machine just so that it doesn't take as long as it did, because it took me, how long has it been? 2-3 weeks? I thought maybe I could make these in a day, but no, I procrastinated a lot, and hand sewing takes a long time. I've watched many hours of different TV series while sewing this, so I think I will take a little bit of a break though from trying to make this again now that I know what I would adjust, and come back to it later when I feel like working on Regency short stays again, because I do want to make some that are really wearable for me. So I guess that's it for this video. Thank you for joining me and have a good day. Bye.